What is going on, guys? It is your boy, the Humble Dreadhound, and we are with some royalty. We have Adin Rudd, the voice of Stellaron Hunters Sam. We have Analesa Fisher, the voice of our sweetheart, Firefly. Let's get a big old round of applause because these guys were generous enough to spend their evening with us. Welcome. How you doing?
Doing good. Can't complain.
Guys, I am so excited. Y'all have a huge week ahead of you. How are we feeling there?
Horrified. So scared. I keep getting jump scared. Every night it's a new jump scare. Last night it was the light cone animation. Monday night was the Myriad trailer that nobody thought was going to drop that early.
The Myriad
I just
trailer.
feel like I'm in this weird waiting mode. And every time I just like stand in my kitchen and I'm like, so panic is how I feel.
Yeah, I'm definitely panicked for different reasons, and it's not so much because of jump scares. It's more because we have the E6 poll stream, and I have to like set everything up for that still. So, but because it's going to be on my stream, but yeah, so that's the whole craziness that I'm going through right now.
It's going to be huge. I'm taking that day off, so I'm going to probably be streaming like earlier in the day, but I'll be there. I think it's going to be a good time. I love those streams.
Hell yeah.
Prepare for pain.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm prepared.
He's gonna come home. I have no doubt.
It's not the coming home. It's the getting 7 copies that I fear.
It's and Ron May if I want to go there too. Yeah.
That is true. That's true.
So, real quick, let's address the elephant in the room. Because I uploaded a video, if you guys don't know, quick plug, on X.com or Twitter if you're old like me. And it was a video of if you should roll for Firefly or Run May. And from a meta standpoint, I said, if you don't have a support like Run May, go for Run May. And Adin and Analesa were not happy with me. So...
about that. You told the internet if you had to make a choice, don't choose Firefly. And me and Adin were like,
I was just like,
what?
Yeah, we see. I will say, as somebody who I used to play like Magic the Gathering competitively. I know all about competitive metas and stuff like that. And objectively, if that is what you are going for, yeah, you're probably correct, but still, this is a single player game. This is fun, flavor. You can do whatever you want, and I'm sorry, but yeah.
if you guys would accept my background as a humble apology,
I do.
My
it works.
Community,
yeah.
Thank you. My community knows that the wall behind me is sacred. So Analesa, hopefully, you accept my apology. You
look stunning back there.
I got like a weird shrine back there. Are those candles in front of it or something?
Well, I gotta take that down. No. Laughed my glasses.
No, listen, I'm the kind of person that's like, I want everybody to have everything they want. I don't know why we have to choose. I don't know why we have to choose anything. I spent
money
all week. Well, I spent about 12 hours on Sunday because we did a little subathon on my Instagram. And I said, if we get my Instagram to 10K, I'll respond and bless every single person's Firefly rolls, and I responded to 3,000 of them, and still counted.
Oh my God.
Because I check every once in a while, and there'll be a few stragglers coming through going, I hope I'm not too late. And I'm like, never too late. Because I just want everyone to be happy. That's all I want.
At that point, you just got to be copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste.
I am, it's funny because I kind of I didn't mean to, but I guess I did a gotcha version of blessings because I made 10 graphics of Firefly blessings, little sayings and stuff and things that she likes and ways that you could bring her home. And so I had a message I would copy and paste into the thing, and then I would pick random 1 out of 10. So everyone got a variation. It wasn't like exactly the same. And then obviously if someone took the time to write, a lot of people took the time to write just incredibly kind messages about what Firefly means to them, then I would try to be like, thank you so much, that means a lot to me. And then I would like move on to the next one. Yeah.
Can I say something? I say this to all of you guys because it is absolutely incredible the connection you have with this community. I have been part of quite a few gaming communities along my, content creation career, and I say this all the time. Star Rail has changed my creation life. Dreadhound, all that jazz, and just seeing how involved you guys are, the love that you guys have for the community, the fact that you responded to 3,000 people to bless their pools is amazing. How do you guys feel being in this community? And in a second, we'll touch on, you guys being a partnership, but how does this all feel?
First off, I gotta say, like, Analesa really just went like, yeah, that 9-hour stream we did, that's baby stuff. We're going harder now.
Hardcore, like bugs.
But I gotta say, for me personally, because, yeah, you were talking about, like, yeah, we do a lot with the community and for the community and stuff. It's easy when the community does so much back. Like it's freaking wild when like you will go like get dinner with your friends and take a photo of it, and then like an hour later a Star Rail fan has made an art rendering of you and your friends at like a Japanese restaurant or like Bob's Big Boy or something. But like, the fan base has been really positive just in general. Like I've dealt with very, 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 very few negative experiences. Like it's been an overwhelmingly positive fan base. Everybody's been really fun to talk to. Everybody's so passionate, and I love that. Like it's, I don't like nobody's interested in something that's just okay. It's like that. And people are just like diehards for this stuff. And it also helps because I play the game, I stream the game as well, and it makes it easy to like communicate of like, oh yeah, I remember that part, or I did this thing, or my team is these characters and stuff like that. So yeah, honestly, it's the reason we put so much into the fan base is because the fan base puts so much into us. So yeah.
That is
yeah,
awesome.
I don't know. It feels good. I mean, everyone is just so kind, and for me specifically, the whole kind of thing that happened with Firefly was a fluke. I mean, I am a disabled voice actor, and getting to bring Firefly to life, who has a disability, and I didn't even understand or know to the extent in which that disability would be broadcast. And doing that whole rooftop scene was kind of where that kind of put me on the map as far as like, whoa, okay, who is Firefly? She's not just this tour guide. And seeing how much that means to people has been like the best thing in the world. Like I think that the most popular tweet that I've ever tweeted was a quote retweet of somebody who made Gojo and Firefly fan art of Gojo pushing Firefly in a wheelchair, and I responded and was like, as a disabled actor who's getting to be a character in this amazing game with this amazing community who's willing to feed my delusions and draw stuff like this, and have Firefly in this position of like, yeah, she uses mobility aids and she's proud of it. Like Sam is her mobility aid, essentially.
I'm a wheelchair.
Yeah, literally. Sam is the sci-fi wheelchair we all need. It's awesome. Everyone is really nice. And it makes me it just makes me want to work harder every time I go into the booth. Every time we record something new, I'm just like, I need better, faster, stronger, harder. Like, what can I do to make sure that we are delivering, like Adin said, delivering to them what they deserve because of how much they also give back to us.
That is fantastic. And I love when I discover that there's a commonality between you and the character. I think that's absolutely beautiful. But one thing I really do cherish seeing, your guys' camaraderie. You guys share a character, and the chemistry is amazing. How did that come to be?
Funny story, we literally never met before this.
No, I didn't even know who Adin was.
and vice versa. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was, we kind of found out before the character was released that who was voicing who, because we're all under the same NDA, so we can kind of tell each other who's playing who in confidence. We can't say it like in public, but it's like very much just like one-on-one. If we're under the same NDA, talk about it to each other.
Yeah.
But so we found out that way, and we just kind of started chatting. We both had a lot of ideas. Neither of us was like, both of us were very open to the other person's ideas, and like, you know, we just kind of like had fun with it, you know. It's just been, yeah, it's been a ride, and yeah, I don't know exactly how else to say it, but
for me, I don't know if Aiden feels the same way, but for me, I mean, we have a Discord where our whole cast talks to each other, and that is like a great community place, but so much of voiceover is very isolated, and you're doing a lot of it alone. And in a game like this where, regardless of if fans are trying to or not, I mean, even with your tweet, I know you weren't trying to divide people, but it does. You know, then there's people who are Firefly haters or who are Mech haters, and people, and it's like, there can be a lot of discourse when obviously real money is involved, and like, which characters am I going to actually try to get, and all this stuff. So it can be a really lonely experience, even when we get together all the time and hang out, or we do all this stuff. Recordings are very lonely. Everything is very lonely. And, you know, even back in, what was the patch that just came out? 2.2, at the very end, when you hear Firefly and Sam's lines over each other, like getting to go in the booth and then playing that, for me, even that is like, oh, it's Aiden. Like, it feels like he's in here with me. And then getting to text him about it. And when we're doing print stuff together, it made the experience so much less lonely, and meant a lot to me, because so many of my other characters, like, I could talk for days about them, but nobody really cares, because they're, you know, it's such a solo like experience, you know.
Well, listen, hearing you guys deliver your lines gave me chills. Honestly, gave me chills. And just the cool thing that I saw with your guys' interaction was Aiden doing your lines and Analesa, you doing Aiden's lines.
It sounds so much cooler coming out of Aiden's mouth every time.
Stop it. Stop.
Every time. Every time. I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's just going to sound stupid.
No, because it would be like, all of you will die here. All of you will die here. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. But, you know, hearing the interaction that, you know, you guys have with the other castmates, you know, are there other projects that, you know, you're looking forward to, you know, working on, you know, in the future, potentially, you know, within the Holiosphere? You know, we have Genshin Impact, we have Zenless Zone Zero. I'm not saying, you know, reveal anything, but, you know, are there other properties that you may have an interest in within this space?
I mean, I would be very happy to work on any of these things, because the thing that I've noticed from working on Star Rail and working on Genshin, because I've played a ton of NPCs in Genshin, is the writing is really good, and that's really all I care about at the end of the day, because if the writing's really good, then this job gets, it's a lot easier, but two, it's a lot more fun. Like, you get to dig in more. Like, it's a lot more than like your standard game where it's just combat efforts and that's it. Like, there are games when there's like no story and it's just very mechanical and you just kind of go in and go out. And it's not that those are not interesting to work on in their own way. It's just, I prefer the more narrative driven stuff that's like really like easy to dig into and stuff like that. And given Hoyo's track record with Genshin, with Star Rail, I would imagine ZZZ's writing is probably also like super good. So yeah, it's just, I would like to work on any of these properties in any aspect. So they just make good stuff.
I mean, for me, it's like I'm just lucky. I'm just happy to be here. You know what I mean? I would say, if I had to have picked, if you put them all together, I am an absolute like nut for sci-fi. So the fact that this was not only that this was the one that I ended up on, but I ended up on is such a cool 5-star character that also like weirdly has a disability / chronic illness like I do, and none of that was planned or put together on purpose. Like, it just feels it feels like everything fell into a place, and it reminds me that what is meant for me and what is meant for everyone will not pass you by, you know. So it's actually, since booking this role with other Hoyo games and with other properties in general, I'm just like, you know what, like I can let go a little bit more and just trust that I'm good at what I do, and if it is meant to be, then it'll be meant to be. But otherwise, I mean, I'm just happy. I am clinically and probably unhealthily obsessed with Jujutsu Kaisen. So if I had any choice in anything I could work on next, that would be it. Otherwise, I plead the fifth.
We had a lot of discussions about JJK on that giant live stream we did.
Yeah.
So I have to ask. I see the shark.
Yes.
Can you tell us the shark lore?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm autistic, and so my special interest has always been sharks, like for as long as I can remember. I still have the very first shark stuffed animal I ever got when I was a kid, and now I'm up to 371, although Allegra said that she won me one that she has to give me, so I think that's 372 once that shark comes home. Yeah, I just love them. I'm a huge shark activist. I got to speak at the Environmental Awards Summit a few weeks ago on shark conservation. I'm just all about protecting our oceans and protecting these very misunderstood creatures that unfortunately have had a very bad rap ever since Jaws came out. So that's, you know, that's the lore there. But I wanted to bring them. This is Norman and this is Zeke. So I wanted to bring them to say hi.
I absolutely love that. So not to go too far down the rabbit hole, you know, I always want to respect boundaries and comfortability, but I recently became diagnosed with ADHD, and I've always had, you know, bouts of like depression. Well, I've always been like clinically depressed, but I say that in a positive way. I always like to share that for people feel comfortable destigmatizing it. But
I always say, if we would tell someone I broke my leg last week, why can't we say I was really depressed, or this thing happened, I fell into, you know, you get it.
Yes. And being diagnosed with ADHD, and also seeing other creatives and seeing actresses like yourself, you know, being neurodivergent, it changed my life. Like, everything has been opened. I'm like, that's why I was obsessed with that particular thing. I was like, I info dump a lot, so I get it. So when I see, you know, you have an interest in like sharks or JJK, I love it, because to me, I'm like, yes, more, and seeing other people get into that, very awesome. And I bring that up to say thank you for sharing that part of us, you know, that part of you with us, because it helps people feel less alone. Like, honestly, when I got my diagnosis, it really felt like I got like my letter to like Hogwarts, because I was like, oh snap, there are other people who get it. Like, so
you never really get it either until you get, like, when I get into a room with other autistic people, I'm like, wow, it's just like there's something that just like sheds off of your skin of just like, these are my people, and this is where I'm meant to be, and they get you. I was talking to Valeria the other day, Valeria Rodriguez, who has ADHD and is neurodivergent, and I was like, we're cool, right? Like, people think we're cool. And she looked at me and went, no. And I went, what do you mean? I'm like, every time I hang out with people, they tell me how cool I am. And I'm like, she's like, think about the people you hang out with. You hang out with voice actors and nerds. If I put you in West Hollywood right now and told you to go to a club, like, you would not be cool. And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, oh my God, you're right. Oh, I'm just a neurodivergent nerd. Like, that's my whole everything was like, no. But I am proud. All that to say, I'm very proud.
I'm going to give both of you your flowers. Both of you guys are incredibly cool. Incredibly cool.
Thank you.
You are too. You are very cool as well.
Thank you. Also, shout out to Adin.
What?
And a lot of the other, you know, VAs, you guys gave me a very huge gift on Twitter, and I wanted to make sure that was known. You guys like blew up my Twitter account. And seriously, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, to be fair, this game blew up a lot of our Twitter accounts. So, like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Like,
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
yeah.
Thank you guys, because I think I was playing like a MOBA with my friend, and I always keep like my notifications open. It's like ping. I was like, okay, cool. Ping, 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 ping. I was like, what is going on right now?
I made sure to have notifications turned off before anything Star Rail came out because I knew. Like, yeah.
I've been that way since Metal Lords. Like I only have it now so that if I open the app, will it show me the notifications I missed? But otherwise, like I don't get emails, I don't get pop downs, like I don't even get the badge in the corner of the app because I can't take it. It's too much sensory stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like people laugh when they see like my in-game menus. They're like, "Yo, how do you deal with all that red?" I was like, "I simply do not see it because I would lose my mind if I acknowledge it."
Yeah. I think I'm the only person I know who like I have 0 unread emails in my inbox right now because I like take care of them. Like my emails are like my to-do list.
That too.
And
I'm like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, good. I'm glad
I
that
do
you
the
are.
exact same thing. Yeah.
Someone's phone and they'll have like 900,000 unread emails, and I'm like, how are you keeping track of your bookings and your scheduling stuff?
I would just delete my email and start it.
Same. I'd start over and just burn it down. Like, yeah. I would do too. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Oh, I'm guilty. I'm like, man, I haven't heard from that sponsor in a while, and then I'll go check. And I'm like, ooh. Like,
Yeah. Oh goodness.
No, it's like I've shown because like my partner Jess, like her email inbox is like a metric ton of emails, and like I remember I showed her what an empty inbox looks like, and she's just like, "How did you do that?"
Like that's magic to me.
Yeah.
I can't fathom how that like must feel.
No, it feels amazing. At the end of the night,
really
like
cool.
I get very stressed out when I'll be out and about during the day and on like big audition days. Sometimes we'll get like 10 to 12 auditions a night, depending on what's happening.
Yeah.
And it will, so it'll be like 12 unread emails and then another one from my manager and then something else I have to take care of. And it's like 15 unread emails is about to send me over the edge. Like I'm like, it's too much. How am I going to get to it all?
Yeah, once I'm over 10, it's like too much. Like, yeah.
Heard. Well, I always believe when you're at the learning tree, and you guys are the learning tree. What is some advice, you guys may have for aspiring, voiceover artists or anyone just looking to break in? What is something you would recommend to help them stand out from the rest, or just to get that jump start?
I mean, it's interesting because everybody's journey is different. Like that's a big part of it. The biggest thing, honestly, is just train. Like get the training. Like take classes. Like it doesn't have to be like a fancy voiceover class with like the highest end coach. It doesn't need to be that. You could take a community college acting class to start off with, and that can start you off. And then the biggest thing that I always try to tell people is don't try to be perfect. Like that's the biggest thing, because all the time I feel like, get a little soapboxy here, I feel like our country's education system is a little too geared towards STEM subjects. And it's not to say that those are not important, but it's to say that the arts and creative pursuits and things like that tend to get overlooked. Yeah. And that's a problem because that is a completely different part of your brain that you don't get to use. So, because the thing is every time, because I do coaching, and every time if I'm working with somebody who's never tried this before, the first instinct they have when they see a script is they look at it like it's an equation that they need to solve. They're like, oh, I need to emphasize this word. I need to put a pause here. I need to speed up here. I need to slow down here. And they're spending all their time trying to do everything perfect. But acting is about being human. Humans are imperfect. So if you're trying to do it perfect, you're already doing it wrong. It's not about doing it right. It's about being like bringing your voice, bringing your expression, stuff like that. I'll tell you right now, like, I feel like a lot of people think that like what precedes like a really good read is like, okay, I've perfectly calculated every angle of the script. I know exactly what I'm going to do here, 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 and here, and it's going to be amazing. When in actuality, the best reads tend to come after we just go, this will be funny. Like, that's really it.
Like when you've given up, like when you're just like over it and you're just like, just do this, I guess, really quickly, and then you book it. Like the amount of rush auditions I've booked and have gone, what? Are you joking? Because I do. I've been in the booth spending hours sometimes on an audition, and it's 90% of the time you're gonna book the ones that you spent no time on at all. And it's not because it's because of, like Aiden said, all of your training, all of your pre-preparedness is what's coming out in that, and you're just being free. I think honestly, I mean, I could go on all day. I have on-camera friends, because I also do on-camera, that will come over and go, I really want to get into voiceover. Can you help me out? And I show them my like 19 binders filled with sides, and like try to show them like the different like modes and variations. And I just see their eyes glaze over because it's just too much information. And in reality, the answer is what Aiden said. It's learn how to act first, because no matter what medium or what genre or what age range it is, like that's what's going to be seen, and you can hear the difference. I mean, if you ever go on the side of casting and you open up 10 MP3s of the same file, you can tell right away who's in it and who's not in it, regardless of how amazing the voice sounds. And that's always been weird for me, because I started doing voiceover and on camera at the same time. Like when I was 5, it just was, my manager just put me, I had a rasp as a kid, and she put me in the booth, and I was doing the on camera thing at the same time. And so I learned at the same time how to do it. And so I find myself in front of the camera, not in front of the camera, in front of the mic, not in front of the mic, acting the exact same way, which can get weird sometimes, because I'll try to like pace around the booth, and they'll be like, Analesa, you need to be this close. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. But there's lots of variations of like mocap and PCAP and regular voiceover and games, and so it's a lot. It's a big industry, but it's also very small, because the community is very small and it's very welcoming. And if you hello,
whoa, what happened there?
I don't know.
Was that like the weird thumbs up thing that happened during the signing stream?
Yeah,
like,
that was weird. I don't know. I'm just magic, I guess, because that also only would happen when I did it at the. Okay, weird. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no. Then the only other thing is, I think there's a website called howtobeavoiceactor.com, and if
I want to be a voice actor.
I want to be a voiceactor.com, and if you're just if you really want to do it, but you have no connections and you're just completely lost on where to start, go to that website, follow step by step, and I promise you, like, what the one difference that I say between voice acting and on camera is that on camera, like, you could book a Leonardo DiCaprio movie and then like not work again for like 15 years, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. It has nothing to do with your talent. It's luck and lots of weird things happening at the same time. Voiceover, like, if you get your foot in the door and you start making fans, there is a ladder you can climb. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the #1 voice actor in the world, but you will work and you will have friends, and you will be doing what you want to be doing if you just work really hard.
I will also add, just specifically for voiceover over on as it relates to on camera or theater, to me, voiceover improv training is more important for voiceover than any other form of acting. The reason why is because, so we don't have to memorize lines. However, because of that, usually you don't get to see the script until the day of, like right when you walk in the room, and you just gotta roll with it. Like every single thing we have done for Star Rail, we saw that script when we walked in the booth. We had no prep time. So yeah, people you just gotta be ready to go. Like,
people always commend the rooftop scene, and I'm like, if you want to know the truth, what happened is that I was cold reading it. our director said, we're going to take this twice. I'm going to have you just read the whole thing so that you can get into the groove of it, and then we'll take it back again. And if we need to fix anything, we'll go in. And I was like, all right, dope. Because the first words that I saw were entropy loss syndrome. Have you heard of this term? And I was like, I got this. I'll just, again, just pulling from a real place. I was like, I'll just talk about it like I would talk about my JIA. Like, very technical, medical, but it's coming from that real place. And I start to read it, and then as it gets down to that part in the script where it says, you'll start to do things a little bit slower than everyone else, and then even slower than that, my voice cracked and I started crying in the booth because I got triggered because I was paralyzed when I was in middle school, and I spent a lot of time in the hospital, and I felt like I was going backwards when everyone else in the height of puberty was moving on with their life and doing everything. And it's just very funny to me because, yes, all of my training came in handy. Like, there was acting involved, but, like, really, it was a cold read that I just got triggered doing.
Well, that actually just brought, like, a little tear to my eye. Like, I want to give you a hug. Like, hearing how much you put into that performance on both sides is amazing. Just to touch on Starvo, well, before we get out of here, like, one more time, how did you guys find these very distinct, iconic voices? Because you have the all of you will die. I can't do it because that hurts.
So I will say for mine, I'll tell you right now, the audition that booked it does not sound like that at all. Really? It's my voice in the audition was very similar to just how I speak normally. Like, it was just very right here. It was just kind of in this area. And, Phil, our director, just wanted to bring up the intensity, and that's kind of how that came about. I will say, because people, when they hear the Sam voice, they think, oh, that's got to, like, rip your throat up, because it sounds really gravelly. Yeah. It's not. It's not at all. Because people think I'm, like, going here, and it's really not that at all. It's like a sigh, almost. It's like a... like, and then it's like, it turns into, now commencing scorched earth operations. And then it just kind of like, it's like I'm burping it out almost. It's like, so...
It's so good.
But yeah, and that's how you're able to, like, take it super soft too, because if I went, like, straight in my throat and I tried to do, like, the super soft scene like I had with Acheron, and it would just be like, do you remember when you said other? But if I take it the way that I was taking it, it'd be like, do you remember what you said? Then it has a little bit more weight to it, So, and it's easy, it's more sustainable, you have more range to play with it. It's just good technique, and I know a lot of people this week have been bringing up the Myriad Celestia trailer because I am all of the Sams in that trailer. And it was an interesting exercise because all I did was, like, make very subtle tweaks to, like, how each of them speaks, because it's like, oh, this one's like it all, and the only info I really had was Phil just kind of gave me, like, a basic rundown. And it's the first one, it's like, oh, she's a little more upbeat, she's younger. And I go, okay, so I made that one a little more nasally, like a little more up here, like maybe more like that. And then he was like, okay, now this one's like a little, like, he's a little more, or she, I don't remember. It was the one that looked like a young boy with the short hair. I can't remember. But so that one, he was like, they're a little more, like, depressive, slower speaking, stuff like that. So I just talked slower and didn't push as much. And yeah. And then there's the general that comes in at the very end, and she's, like, super intense and, like, drill sergeant. So I just amped up the aggression to 11, and it's just Article 2570, and it's just like, that's really it. It's just subtle changes based off of the character's, like, personality differences, really. That's really all I did. So it's but amazing. Yeah. That's
Firefly was kind of a similar situation, but not really. I mean, Firefly is very interesting because Firefly has very different modes. Like, we got not in trouble, but we had a guest director come in to direct a session once because our director was really sick, and we have two directors working at once on different sides of the city, pretty much in two different studios. So I got this guest director, which was awesome. I've worked with this director before, but they had pulled up reference from 2.0 when Firefly is like, this is the Soul Glad Factory, and I'm so glad you're here, and this is amazing, and I love being a tour guide, and I'm lying about everything directly to your face, and so I'm gonna pretend that everything is fine, because she was like living this fantasy of who she thought that she needed to be, because she doesn't want to be this like war criminal, like with this dark past who's dying. She's like, in this dream, I can be anyone. So she's acting almost. And then obviously when we get to that rooftop scene and everything thereon afterwards, her breath and like her whole body kind of crumbles into this, you know, living with this chronic illness, and it kind of weighing her down, and also just being more comfortable and calmer, because she's like, whatever happens at this point, like, I've at least gotten to live a little bit as Firefly, and so I'm okay with what happens next, whatever is written in Elio's script. And so when we were in that session, it was a scene that was similar to the rooftop scene in energy, and the director was like, you are, honestly, you're way off voice. And I was like, so we had to have like we had to have this whole discussion about how we ended up here and what's going on. And finally he was okay with it and was like, oh, okay, I understand. But it took a long time to kind of get there, because I think we all knew, like, there's no way that rooftop scene could work, or that Firefly could work at all. I mean, you see the Myriad Celestial trailer, you see what happens at the end of 2.2, you see Sam, and when the reveal happens, you're like, okay, how is this girl in this suit? It can't just be this cheery, high-pitched tour guide all the time. It has to have that different layer to it. And I'm really lucky that I booked the role in the way I did, because at the time I had auditioned for, there was the whole Penacony packet essentially, and I auditioned for all the characters, and I spent hours on Misha, Sparkle, like Robin, like I was like, I know who these people are, I've got it. The voices were all super unique, nothing like I've ever done before. And then I get to Firefly's sides and I'm like, I'm so tired. I was like, I'm so tired. And I didn't really know what to do, because they didn't give us a lot in the sides. Like, again, I did not know that she was disabled. I did not know she was chronically ill. Most of the lines that she had in her original sides were like playable lines that we haven't even seen yet. So all this stuff happens in 3 different patches before that. So I just was like, I'm just gonna be me and see what happens, and kind of anime-fy it a little bit, but just kind of sit in that calm energy. And I was so confused when I booked it. I was like, huh? But it goes back to that, like, I didn't try. I wasn't forcing anything out. I wasn't trying to be perfect. I was just letting it be, and it all worked out, because it was so similar to my voice, I am able to manipulate it in that way, where me making it more breathy and airy isn't going to change the tone of it, because the tone is just my voice but brighter, if that makes sense. So
I'll say right now, it's like the audition that I remember going the hardest in on that packet was not Sam, it was Dr. Ratio. But
it is always, and then you book it and you're like, huh?
Ratio is like so in my wheelhouse of stuff that I book. Like, I book
Sparkle
a lot
is
of
in mine.
It's like villains, like intellectual asshole kind of characters. Like, that's my bread and butter. Like,
I get like evil, raspy teenagers. Like that's where my voice sits. That's what I always book. So I was like, oh, I got this.
Although then I heard Jordan's Ratio, and I was like, yeah, no, I was never getting that.
Oh, same with Lizzie. Like, Lizzie Freeman as Sparkle is perfect. Like, I would not move anyone in the cast around. Our directors are really fantastic, and they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All of these castings have been absolutely perfect, and hearing, your guys' approaches, how the character, matured with you and your performances, it has been incredible. I wanted to say thank you guys so very much for this. This has been one of my favorite interviews. Thank you.
Are you going to be pulling for Firefly now?
That was without doubt. That was going to happen.
Yeah.
You already had Ron May, didn't you?
Yes. I've been good.
Truth comes out.
Well, I'm fortunate enough at currently to be able to. I do have all of the characters, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And that's not the gotcha addiction speaking. I'm a guide maker. So there you go.
Yeah,
but
it's a business expense. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I file taxes, they're like, "What is going on here?"
So what do you mean?
And I'm like, well, they're like, what is this expense to like Google Play or whatever? And I'm like, well, I play this game. I roll on characters. And it's like, well, I guess that's an asset. They're like, how do I even categorize that? I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm here. I don't. But yes, I wanted to say I will 100% be grabbing Sam, Firefly. You guys are awesome. And
God.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I don't know what happened. My phone just Oh my God, everything's happening. Just ignore me.
No. Technology.
If it hasn't been abundantly clear, you guys will be my main moving forward in Star Wars.
Good.
We'll set the seas ablaze, and I am so excited. If I could be a fan for just a moment,
go for it. You have our posters in your background, like.
So quickly, I might add, because that trailer came out like 3 days ago.
I played it. I commented even to Aiden. I was like, bro, look at this. He's like, I know. I was like, these are my new posters, and I don't know if I was joking or not, but yeah. Now that I look at the room, I think I identified where my hyper focus is, but that's
Chef's kiss, no notes.
That's for me to tackle at another time. But would you guys be able to bless my pools? That would make me very happy. Minimal pain if you could.
100%. Absolutely. Aiden, what do you want to do?
I think we should do this separately. Okay. Each do our own. Yeah. Okay. I'm still figuring mine out.
No, I'm sorry.
I'll just give you this. In the spirit of doing each other's lines, I will post plays.
Thank you.
There you go.
Do you even have a valid pull license?
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you, guys.
Because if you do, then you shall get them all. Win the 50-50s. No hard pities for you.
Oh God, yes.
I'm already hard pitied for the first pull. But yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
Well, guys, I will be there. When you're doing your pulls, when you're going for your E6. Are you going for R5?
Oh, S5.
Or S5? That's the Genshin.
So I did post about this on Twitter that there are prizes that people can win if they donate.
That's fair.
It's if you donate, because it's $25 sponsors a 10 pull. If your 10 pull hits on either Firefly, her light cone, or Ron May, then you get a free signed poster and free signed prints of the 2 commissions that are currently being worked on right now. One of them's already done, actually. The other one's still being worked on.
It to me.
What was that?
I want to see it.
I'll send it to you soon. I'll send it to you once we're done here. So yeah, it literally got finished like a few hours ago. So okay. Yeah,
I can give you that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, are you joking?
No, it was. I hired I commissioned one of the artists that they did like a print of Acheron that I remember I really liked, and it was that like super goth one that there was. I commissioned that artist, and it's kind of similar in design. So yeah,
I'm excited.
So I'll send it to you in a bit. But yeah, so if you donate, that will help with that. And if we get enough donations, I will go for it. But yeah. So we'll see. I would like to, but yeah, it just depends on the gacha gods and if they are on my side that day or not. I am a little scared because in general, my luck has been pretty good with this game so far. I think I've only lost a 50-50 3 times. And so I'm scared. I'm scared because Alice specifically was like, I have the best gotcha luck ever. Nothing goes wrong for me. And Alice lost like all but one 50-50 in that poll stream. It was bad. Like,
hey, I saved that though. I was the one that got Robin home for her because I sang all of "Sway to the Beat" in my Cosmos. So
yeah.
I'll just sing the whole stream and everything will be fine.
I mean, I do have a theme for it, and it's already become abundantly clear what it is just based off of the marketing I've already posted. And it's because so Andrew did his whole pool party one for the Boot Hill one. I'm doing a whole like concert-y kind of thing, and there's going to be a certain like pop star musician like theme to every actor who comes into the stream. Like for example, just for the ones that have already been revealed, I turned Sam into Daft Punk, and I gave Firefly a My Chemical Romance t-shirt. So yeah,
I love it.
Not
I specifically messaged Analesa and was like, okay, you're the only one who gets to pick what your character is. Everybody else I'm picking for them. So
like, My Chemical Romance! My Chemical Romance!
Yeah.
I love it. Well, guys, there you have it. There you have it. Y'all, this has been fun. This has been fun, and once again, I appreciate your generosity, your time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, we're going to link exactly where to find you guys down below. Quick plugs, Analesa, where can we find you?
I'm the only person in the entire world that spells my name the way that you do, so it's just at Analesa Fisher on every platform. My most active things though are Instagram and Twitter, at Analesa Fisher on both. You can come hang out if you would like me to bless your polls. Slide right into my DMs, and I'm trying to get through all of them. I did 3,000 already, so like, what's a few more,
Godspeed. Adin, where can we find you?
I am also like the only person who spells my first name the way that I do. Yeah, I'm at Adin Rudd, ADINRUDD, literally everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I would say right now the most active ones are probably Twitter and TikTok, but I'm trying to be more active on Instagram. I've just always been bad with pictures, but I'm trying to be better with taking pictures. So, yeah. But yeah, those would be the main places to find me. Also, my Twitch stream is twitch.tv/AdinRudd. If you want to hang for the poll stream, I don't know if this will be up before the poll stream happens, but okay, then it will be at twitch.tv/AdinRudd as well. Feel free to join the Gotcha Within a Gotcha, where you can win something if I poll, and so then we both win. It's great. So
there we go. Listen, the House of Hounds, we will be there. The community, we will be there. You guys have sat down with greatness. I appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all have been acknowledged by the pack. Welcome to the House of Hounds. We're out.
Thank you so much.
thank you. Catch you later.
See ya.